She left her job, moved across the country, started off a new career, became a best-selling author.
I had my spiritual awakening beginning of 2022, a Christian song. It was like, what is going on here? Tears down my face again, just feeling all this emotion pouring out. Having to build a new life while starting a business.
Welcome back, Slave Family. We are here for another exciting episode. I am so thrilled today. Joining us from Texas is our special guest, Jennifer Licciardi. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Jennifer is going to be a very inspiring story for all of you. If you've ever wanted to kind of shake up your life and live your very best life, she's living it, she's coaching it, she's the entire journey today. So Jennifer's going to share with us how she left her job, moved across the country, started off a new career, became a best-selling author, a public speaker, and then some. So put your seatbelt on for this one. Jennifer, if you could start off and just share with us, before you took on this really exciting change in your life, tell us a little bit about what you were doing professionally and where you used to live.
Yes, boy, a lot of changes when you just explained all of that. I was in Northern California at the time, and now I'm in Dallas, Texas. I spent 20 years in corporate America in hospital medical sales. So I was navigating C-level executives, their staff, directors, managers, nurses. I'd sell in the products, and then I'd be navigating them through transformative change. And that was a lot. This was all preparing me. Looking back, I can see all of it. And I didn't know anything different. I was a workaholic, perfectionist, people pleaser, and I would take on anything and everything. I'm sure so many can relate hearing this. Then one day, it all shifted. I had my spiritual awakening beginning of 2022, and this is where I wanted more meaning in my life. I was standing in the shower, tears streaming down my face after a tough breakup, and just saying, I want peace, love, and joy in my life. I don't even know where the words came from. And a day later, everything shifted because I had asked for that again. And then all of a sudden, Peaceful Morning Radio downloaded. And I'd never downloaded the station. The first song was Joy in the Morning. And the second song was Do Not Fear, You're Blessed, a Christian song. It was like, what is going on here? Tears down my face again, just feeling all this emotion pouring out. Then I got guided to help at a local Christian church and singles ministry. And that is where that all started. I'd worked with a lot of relationship coaches, and I helped these people here navigate to self-love and to feel worthy. And then so I stayed in my corporate job until late April of 23. I was getting some tough lessons, and it's time for you to stand up for yourself. It was like, no, do I really have to do this? It's hard. There's a rework going on, and even though I didn't want to be there, you're taught to keep the peace. You're taught to stay under the radar. Don't make waves.
Too. People cling to security a lot.
Yes, and I was used to the security, but I also knew at that point I couldn't live my life that way. And I couldn't see, waiting until I retired to leave. I was in my 40s. So I just got the green light. I'd say God told me for me. And I just got the guidance, it's time to quit. Are you ready to leave? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it. Then I started my business after I left. I was being prepared ahead, having done coaching, but I didn't have a business till then.
So you picked up, left California, took your dog, headed out to Texas. Did you know a single human being out there?
All I knew is I had one friend who I hadn't seen out here from my early 20s, who's an hour away. But we've talked, we just haven't crossed paths. People outgrow each other and life changes, but that was it. I really don't know anybody out here, and I've had to rebuild. So while building a business, picking up and moving across country and starting from scratch and just trusting because I thought, well, I'll meet my person who I knew lived out here and just trusted all of it. Or I get a job transfer, but no, it was nope, you are going to move across the country. You are going to quit building your business. You're going to do all this, and then everything else is coming to you. It's like, what? That's asking a lot, but I
So
did it.
you move out there, and I love this because so many times people are not happy, they're not fulfilled, and they
Yeah.
stay exactly where they are because that's what people do when you have security,
Hmm.
you have a paycheck. So
Yeah.
it's Texas, you don't know anybody, you don't have a business off the ground, and you're off to the races to try and establish everything. So tell me, when you started your business, what was the most exciting part and what was the biggest challenge that you faced?
I love that question. It was a lot to move at the same time. I had seen signs for a year and a half every day to move to Texas. I just didn't know it unfold the way it did. But, and it was all trust again. And I just want to share this part too. So I heard that guidance that my house would sell in less than 2 weeks. It was time to put it on the market. I knew a realtor friend and I was like, okay, this is the person. And it sold in less than 2 weeks. Sky high mortgage interest rates. Googled my house in Texas and it was the same builder. And there's one house available. It was bigger than what I had. And I'm like, wow, you're already getting me to play big. This is so crazy, but I'm doing it. And I just kept going. But when I got here, it was having to build a new life while starting a business. And I was in a big mentorship program. So I had support in that sense with the business, but I still had to meet people and find that balance between the two. And just, I turned it into an adventure. What signs am I going to see today? What's going to show up in my life? The biggest challenge was I knew how to be in a business. I knew how to build a territory all those years. I knew how to train sales reps. I knew how to do these massive hospital projects and lead. I did not know how to build something on social media. It's like a whole new beast. Like I just had, and I had to learn, and it was intimidating. But I had the best coaches and I signed up where I needed to learn quickly for everything so that I can help women do this at a much more cost effective way
Hmm.
and to be able to be able to hold their hand knowing all the challenges that come along the way with this and just being able to cut out so much of the headaches, kind of just speed up the process because that's what I was able to do and what I loved most, so I love posting. I love sharing. Some people don't like coming up with content. For me, that's enjoyable because they just hear the guidance of what I'm supposed to share. And so that's been my favorite part of it.
So I have a question for you. I love you talk a lot about faith and guidance.
Yes.
So, how does that manifest for you? Everybody's different. So there'll be people who listen who are of different faiths, strong
Oh,
faith,
yeah.
no faith, all of that. When you say guidance and when you say faith, do you see signs? Do you have dreams? Like what goes on that makes you go, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be seeing and hearing right now?
Yes. So you can say God, spirit, universe, whatever it is to you who's listening. And it's just being able to connect with it. When you connect within and you begin to trust yourself, and that means turning off the noise,
Mm.
turning off the mind racing, connecting to your heart. And when you start, and you can do this by being fully present. So being fully present means just being outside and looking at nature, paying attention to your kids or the person you're in a conversation with and you're not thinking about something else. You're not distracted. Going to yoga and just giving yourself grace when your mind wanders, meditating. All of these things can help you connect more within. And then you just feel that you know the guidance. And the guidance is your internal system of a yes or no. And the way I learned to do it is I would ask myself yes and no questions. I would say, Do I want waffles today? Yes or no? And then if my body reacted well to yes, I'd be like, that's it. If it reacted to no, and I test both and I feel it out. And then I started to make those decisions with which flight should I be on and
Mm.
where should I go in my day. And I wake up and I just feel like, okay, I'm so grateful. Where do you want me to go today? What should I do? Who am I meant to help? Who am I meant to talk to? Just show me. And God, Spirit, Universe will show you the way. When you start to connect and you want that relationship, the doors open and you start to see a new path in your life. But it takes paying attention to those signs. If you keep driving by a coffee shop and you keep noticing it, but you never go in, what if there's a connection there? What if there's something for you that you're missing?
Mm.
Just these little nudges. Are you supposed to walk a different way? Are you supposed to go play pickleball? And just all these things each day. And life gets to be fun. It gets to be an adventure.
So when you kind of feel yourself pulled in a direction,
Yeah.
you listen to that. That's really awesome because, it's funny you would say that because sometimes I keep driving by this restaurant and I'm listening to you. I'm like, "Ah, why do I keep looking at that restaurant? I guess I'm supposed to go to that restaurant. So now I'm going to go to that restaurant after this for sure."
Good. I love that.
So let's
You
talk
can
about,
change at any point. You really
yeah,
can change at any point. I did in my 40s. I mean, I didn't do it that way before.
let's talk about the massive changes you've had. So first thing is you dived into, we talked about you being an entrepreneur, you run an empowerment business, and then
Yes.
you became an author. So you wrote your first book in summer of 2023. And then you are now in a collaboration book, which went best-selling internationally. So let's take a second and maybe touch base on those two books.
Yes. I have my radical freedom right here. Yeah, it was incredible to be able to share my story of what radical freedom means to me. And I've talked about this on here with signs, starting to understand what freedom meant because I didn't know what freedom was. And I started seeing those signs everywhere. And I understood Texas, like Texas signs. Okay, I'm moving to Texas. Like that makes so much sense to me. But I didn't understand what freedom was. And I did over time. And that is what got me to make all these changes. But it was around all this time. And I just didn't see it before. Those Texas signs were 7, 8 years back, at least. And I didn't know until I was ready to see it. So you're always being guided in direction. But do you notice? Are you paying attention?
Mm.
And this was just an incredible book. There's so many wonderful authors, and it's a story, it's a bunch of stories. So you get to see everyone's perspective of what radical freedom means to them. I mean, even we're blessed to have Suse Green in this book, who's a former Supreme, the last living one, and she's beautiful inside and out. And it's just incredible to hear her story and hear too, to be surrounded by so many amazing authors that have golden nuggets and step by step so that you can find your own radical freedom.
So now you are officially a best-selling author as part of the Radical Freedom book, which is very exciting. And you're
Yeah.
running an empowerment business and you're doing public speaking too. So how did you break into public speaking? And what was your first way to get your foot in the door? Because that's a big task. And what has that experience been like for you?
Yeah, thank you. The first time I did public speaking, and I was terrified to speak. It wasn't the person you'd think would be on social media. Like I was good in a hospital. I was good in a room full of people in that environment because it was work. I knew how to do it. But now I'm selling myself. It's a little different. So the first time was back in October. I had my book and a friend of mine, my book Reclaim Your Heart Power, and a friend of mine told me, oh, there's a tag talk event, which is transparency, action, and growth, or acceptance and growth. And I reached out and I was like, oh, and I got asked to speak. So I got to do a talk and I just got up there and it was the first one I did. And I was told that I was this powerhouse woman. Like when I got on stage, this came out. I was thinking, I've never had that identity before. my house, the offer came through that same day when I was on stage. Like, my life was just changing back in California then. And it was a lot to step into. And I've worked with a speaker coach too, to really help with my voice and vision. So I can help my clients do that too. So we all need support. That is the one thing I've learned, is that we need that.
So as an empowerment coach, I know that you're tying a lot of these experiences. I mean, the best way to teach something is if you've lived it yourself. So, making radical changes, experiencing freedom, selling your house, moving where you don't know someone, opening a business, speaking, becoming an author. Tell us a little bit about how you work with clients as an empowerment coach. What is a typical client that would be a fit for you? And maybe if you don't mind sharing, what's one of the things that you would give as a tip or a strategy to help someone?
Absolutely. So recently I created the Iconic Woman because I've become the Iconic Woman. I own my messiness as I stepped into different versions, coaching in different areas, and then landing on this because I married or integrated my old self. And I realized I was running away from the old version of me. I was running away from that star salesperson in the top 1% because I'd done it so long and I didn't know I could integrate the two. So recently, I've taken that version of me, because women need help selling. Entrepreneurs, like, I have all these selling skills, professional selling skills that I want to help women with so that they can explode their sales. That's really important to me. Going through the challenges that come up, having that conversation, letting it be comfortable, and knowing how to close is huge. And so I'm helping women explode their sales as well as being irresistibly magnetic online. That is something that I struggled with at first. I had no idea how to be seen, how to be visible.
Mm.
And I had to just be consistent and keep going and find what it was for me, what was most aligned with my heart and soul. And I would outgrow that version of me within 2 months because I was moving so fast. So I'd be like, okay, this isn't aligned anymore. But now what I have, I rebranded everything to the Iconic Woman. And I'm so excited about it. The iconic woman within you who's watching is being able to let go of those limiting beliefs that are keeping you small. This is something I help you do. So we do the inner work and we learn the practical skills so that you can slay, SLAE, mind you, in social media. And so that you understand really how to sell and have fun doing all of it. And then learn how to manifest a life beyond your wildest dreams at the same time. So it's 9 weeks and I incorporate all of this. And I'm excited to get on clarity calls. So women who feel this is you, I'm happy to get on a complimentary clarity call and discuss it, see if it's a good fit.
So let's talk about how people find you.
Yeah.
To share your social media, your website. How would people find you? And obviously, how to order that book if they'd like to read Radical Freedom as well.
Yeah. So I have a link tree that has my website on it that I'll leave. It has my book page on it, my author page. So you'll see all of that. My new YouTube channel, my Facebook group, The Iconic Woman. I've rebranded everything that way recently, YouTube and all of it. So that's the direction I've gone in. And I'm so excited about that. My email is jenniferlicciardi@gmail.com. My website's on there too, which is www.jenniferlicciardi.com. Try to make it as easy as possible to find me.
That's
And
easy.
I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn.
Excellent. And where do you see yourself going now? You've had, I mean, in a really short time, Jennifer,
I
you've
know.
made not only massive changes, but really successful. I mean, who quits their job, moves, becomes a best-selling author, speaker, like all that stuff is so fast. So what is the dream for you in 5 years or 10 years? Where do you want to go? What would you like your life to be about next?
Sharing my heart with your viewers and putting this out there in the world. I started following Gabby Bernstein back in 2019. And I remember seeing her on stage. And when she was saying she saw Wayne Dyer on stage and knew that one day that would be her, I had that feeling. I didn't quite understand it at the time, but I so resonated and connected. And then early 22, I was ready to understand what that meant. And I started to, I'd actually wake up or I'd be driving in the car and I'd start saying the words as I am now, like I'm on stage in front of tens of thousands of people, like connecting to a talk I'm doing one day. And it just, when you feel that, when you embody that, you just know that it's going to happen. And that's what I just trusted. I had no idea how I was going to get there, but I see the steps now. Like I'm doing the big things. I'm saying yes. And it's scary. There are times I didn't know how to be visible. I was hardly on social media before. I had no presence. And so to grow as quickly as I am, it's exciting. And I'm proud of myself for taking the steps to do it because you see yourself. And I know so many of you watching are like, I don't get it. Why am I not being seen? Why are people not engaging? Why are the clients not coming in? And I've been there before. So I understand how to move through all of that quickly so that you can play big, so you can have the life you truly desire, the one that's on your heart.
I love that. And, congratulations on not only the success you're having, but the way you're helping other people to achieve it as well. And it's great because
Thank you.
sometimes, the same way you may see somebody on stage, someone will listen to you and go, you know what? I've been too scared to do this, or I've been holding back. And, you'll help other people go after freedom, or maybe they'll walk by a door they've seen 20 times and decide to go in this time because they keep looking at that door or looking at that coffee shop or restaurant. So thank you for spending a few minutes with us. Your book is available on Amazon.
Yes, and it's in paperback now. It's available on Kindle as well. And you can use it as a choose your own adventure book too. Like just use the creative genius behind that. Does just open the book up and say, what do I need to know today? And then see what chapter appears.
Yes. And it's great because they're short individual stories. So that allows someone to pick it up and put it down at any pace they want.
Yes, exactly. Everyone's so busy. So it's nice to have it bite-sized.
Yes. And speaking of busy, I know you just came back from a launch and all these different things. I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. I know people will be inspired by you, your journey, and the book. And of course, now if you're interested in learning more about how she empowers other people, you have all the ways to reach her. So thank you so much, Jennifer.
You're so welcome. Thanks for
And
having me.
my pleasure, everyone. Check out her social media. Make sure to drop her a like and subscribe to her YouTube as well. Have a great day, everyone.